The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour. Brought to you by Nadex. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Tom and Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN headquarters in Clearwater, Florida. It's Monday. It's 10 a.m. as we start off this trading week. Tom is not with me. He is in Chicago at the Traders Expo. If you're in the Chicago area, you can visit him. We have a booth out there. I know what's going on today, tomorrow. Kevin Hinks is out there. We got our Nadex crew out there as well, live from the Traders Expo. Should be a good show. And I believe we're going to have our man Basil Chapman joining me this hour. I know they're getting him hooked up in the chair as we speak. But as we await that, let's take a look at these markets on Monday. We start off in negative territory. You got the Nasdaq leading the way in negative territory, off about 0.2%. Pretty tame trading morning so far, all things considered. Nasdaq negative 18 points, trading 78.01. You have the S&Ps currently negative by just 1 point, trading 2,800 on the dot. And Dow Jones currently negative by 10, trading 25.47. To jump over to some of the headlines that we have hitting the tapes this morning. So we'll start it off. You have Tesla shares dropping after that car maker reportedly asking its suppliers for refunds. Not the type of news that you want to hear in the plethora of news that seems like it just keeps coming against Tesla as they try and battle that. And Mr. Elon Musk, as he tries to work his PR skills, and to jump over to Tesla this morning, quite a little acceleration. So we're down 5.6%. You can see the acceleration we had off the open, even opening spiking above 302 down to 295. And just to pull this back a little bit to see the Tesla woes pulling back even on a yearly, quite a number now off of those highs that we were just at June 18th, not that long ago, basically just longer than a month ago. We're up there at 370, now trading at 295 in Tesla. Other news, it is still earnings season, jumping back. So Hasbro soaring after revenue and profit top estimates. So they topped the estimates. The revenue declined 7% to $904 million in the quarter. But that's not really what matters, because what did they do for the analysts in terms of expectations? So here's your number. Net earnings fallen to $60.3 million, or 48 cents per share, in the second quarter. And that's from $67 million a year earlier. The key being, though, they had expected 29 cents per share. They came in with 48. That's quite a beat. The company's revenue fell to $904 million, but the analysts estimating 833. So pretty remarkable across the board, and the market taking note of that. And jump over to Hasbro as some of their brands within there, and that's a daily. Let's dig down here on a 5-minute chart to see that action. There you go. So spiking to a high pre-market just prior to 9 a.m. of about 105.75. Currently, you have Hasbro trading about 104.27, up 11%. Some of their brands, My Little Pony, faring well, even as they really struggled with Toys R Us wrapping up their stores, a big venue for them to sell their product. So they, of course, were going to decline, but doing well compared to the estimates. And then Halliburton as well coming out with their earnings. So Halliburton, quarterly revenue rising 24%. Been a good 3 months for oil. These companies should be delivering some solid results. Margins in U.S. onshore operations are closing in on what the company achieved during the previous peak in 2014. High margins when they're selling oil at that price, I'm sure. And to dig down into the numbers, you have their North American revenue rising 38% to $3.84 billion. That's a decent 90 days. How about it? International, that's decent 90 days, North American. International business increasing 6% to 2.31. Total revenue rising to $6.15 billion from under $5 billion last year. Pretty cool. And then when you put it into net profit, $511 million, or 58 cents a share, and from $28 million, or 3 cents a share a year earlier. There's the big number. Talk about barely turning a profit. $28 million. We come in this year, $511 million. But bottom line, you'd think that would be good news, but what have you done for me lately, Halliburton, as it just continues to slide? Even as we speak, lows of 41.64, currently trading 41.93. Halliburton down about 7% 6%. And that's pretty remarkable considering. We'll take that opportunity to jump over to the price of oil because, man, check that out. Oil trading 68.87. Talk about a volatile market, even in the last few minutes, dropping almost 40, 50 cents. Who knows? Maybe the president is out there tweeting. Maybe the Iranian president is out there tweeting or saying anything. We're not sure at this point, but that's some volatility. And, of course, I'm referencing the tweet last night. And to bring it over, where are we? There we go. And, yeah, to bring it up. So there is your tweet. We'll get it up there. Because, of course, this is going to affect that oil market. And there's the tweet. So you're talking about last night, 11:24, and you have President Trump talking directly to the Iranian president, Rouhani. Never, ever threaten the United States ever again, or you will suffer consequences, the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. We're no longer a country that will stand for demented words and violence, death. Be cautious. So rhetoric seems like it's ratcheting up. Whether that's playing into the market, either way, oil trading up more than $1, but pulling back as we speak, trading 68.82. And then jumping over to a crypto update. Bitcoin doing well over the weekend, currently trading 77.15. To jump over to some of the other cryptos, there's your Bitcoin pricing, 77.17, up about 3.4%. Ethereum almost flat, down about 1%. So some mixed action here. Litecoin up about 2.4%. Jumping around, nothing too dramatic, but we were down there in the depths in Bitcoin just recently in terms of touching 5,800. We're a far cry from that level, trading 77.14 currently in the price of Bitcoin. And gold, to jump around to some of the commodities. Gold continuing to struggle. Gold was up there at $12.35 just last night. We're now $10 below that level. And yeah, gold currently trading $12.25.25. And I know we have our man Basil Chapman on the line. Basil, good morning.
Good morning, Tommy. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Well, I thought I was doing well until the camera didn't work, but the voice is. So
technology, Basil, it's always a battle. I had myself a little bit of like some type of computer virus. Thankfully, a quick scan and a restart got me fixed this morning, but it is always a battle. But thank you for calling in and joining me. So how's the week starting off? What are we looking at this morning?
So this is very interesting. Well, I've just got GBTC right now, as you was talking about. This is the Bitcoin Investment Trust, what I said to subscribers the other day. I'm not going to be putting it in my newsletter as a position play until I feel really comfortable about it, because it can, overnight. This only is tradable during the market day. That's 9:30 to 4 o'clock, and anything can happen overnight. But I do think this will go to a leg D. It's at 11.85 right now, GBTC. And 11.22 is probably going to be the big test for me. How does it do that? Does it pull back from that 200-period moving average resistance? But overall, this is I spent a lot of time this weekend, most of the weekend, just looking at charts, trying to assess. I also had, when I could, I had news on, and the news. I mean, the plethora of just this negativity, this kind of angst and foreboding, this kind of overall redness. It was fearful, and yet I'm looking at the market and I say, hey, the market looks like it wants to go a little higher.
That's how it looks this morning. We're negative, but we're negative by mere points across the board.
Yeah, fairly negative. Right.
Yeah, less than 1/10%. Dow negative 13, S&P's negative by 1 point. Come on back, folks. Basil and I'll be right back.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. We take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien, joined by our man Basil Chapman, and we got Basil on video now. Basil, hello, good morning again.
Hi there.
All right. So, jumping around, Basil, what are you looking at this week? We had a big week in earnings, of course, with the tech stocks.
So this is really a very important week as far as I'm concerned. This is where we get a test of whether, let me just do this one at a time, whether the Dow is going to make that leg D that we always look for. Let me just show this real quickly. In the Chapman wave methodology, we look for identify the lowest, most obvious low bar, merely count each successively higher peak.
I don't think we have your, sorry, I don't think we have your chart in the den. I just want to make sure you're aware of that as you went.
Oh. So you got my picture, but you don't have the charts?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe you could refresh your den screen, or if not, I can pull up the diamonds.
Thanks.
Or what.
1 second. There we go. There you are.
There we go. We got you. Perfect.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you.
So let me just drag this across and show you. We've
Fantastic.
got, you identify the lowest low bar, immediately count each successively higher peak, alphabetize them on the way up and down, A, B, C, D sequentially. We can go to E, F, and G. It's the fourth highest peak. At peak D, that other things can happen. That's all you need to know. And look at this. The peak D that was made at 25,402 on the 12th of June, pulled back very sharply to a trough D at the 200-period moving average on the 28th of June at 23,997. And now we've gone to peak C at 25,215. And within about 2 days, maybe 3 days, we should be attempt at least to go above the 25,215 for a leg D. Then I'm going to reassess. Why? Because you see the weekly chart of the Dow. I'd drawn this some time ago, the template with a lowercase h that goes to a lowercase m. And you can see basically think rectangle. And we've just been in a trading range. That's a little different to the S&P. And this is what the big difference that I was talking about, at least with my subscribers. I was showing them over the weekend with my 13, 14 charts that I sent out. And what we're looking at, look, the S&P has already made a peak D. The last peak D that was made, the fourth highest peak at 2791 on the 13th of June, saw that very sharp pullback to the 2680s. Now we've run up to the 26, I think, what is that, 18 level, pull back to 2798. So we'll see whether that's going to move. So this is a very important week for a number of aspects. Why? because I think I'm getting to some kind of a short-term, at least, top within this week. That's the way it's looking right now. But at the same time, you remember the IWM was leading the pack for a lot of 2018.
Yes.
The small caps. The QQQ suddenly took that lead about just last week, Monday, Tuesday, went to 180.65. That's the Invesco QQQ Trust Series, made an all-time high, holding quite nicely. There again, peak D, the last peak D on the 20th of June, so a very sharp pullback. It's run up to a peak D now. The weekly chart is at D, monthly chart is leg E. My monthly charts are looking really good. But on the shorter term, I think we're getting to some kind of an overbought level. Doesn't say we have to crash to the downside. It says testing and maybe what we call some kind of a rotational corrections going on. And that's going to be very important to monitor. So it's I'm waiting for the Dow to complete its move, and then I'm going to be checking to see we want to go to the short side and how deep we want to go to the short side. You can see the IWM Russell 2000 sort of failing here. And then we've got the dollar. A lot of people have been talking about the dollar and gold over the weekend. As far as I'm concerned, the dollar is still looking very good. My weekly chart and the monthly chart. Daily chart's getting very choppy, but it's holding in the upper range. And that's going to tell me, because if the dollar starts to break, we've been long since the 6th of April, back at 90, trading at 94.56. It hit 95.65. If the dollar actually starts to break under the 200-period moving average of 92.99, let's just say it goes to 92.70, that's going to say to me, okay, finally the dollar's going to have a good pullback, and that's going to give gold its first real opportunity to rally. Even today, Friday it looked like it was trying to turn. Today it's given back some, but this is the area. If you look at the monthly chart, it's broken serious support.
Yes.
If you look at the weekly chart, it's taking out the left side low that was made, I think it was back in April. And gold is really struggling.
It's been quite a slide. I agree, yeah.
You know, it's been a slide, but it's been just persistent. It's not been a huge 150-point slide in one shot. It's been every week. Look, red candles almost every week. So at some point, there should be a big spike to the upside, and then a retest. That retest is going to be very important for gold. And it's funny because I know Tom's spoken about this, the expert in the gold stocks. So Tom's been saying that, yeah, some of the gold stocks have been holding really well. I mean, if you look at Royal Gold,
yeah.
I mean, look at Royal, oops, I typed it on the chart. Royal Gold is holding very well. So it's going to be very important what happens over the coming 2 weeks, as far as I'm concerned. So Royal Gold's finally pulled back. If you look at the daily, if you look at the weekly, but that monthly chart, leg D, up in the higher range at 91.27. So it's very selective. You spoke about crude oil. I think crude oil is taking a well-earned breather, but it too is just having a high-level consolidation after a spectacular. Look at the monthly chart going from a year ago. It was in the 40s, and now it's in the 68, having hit 74. So this is a very important phase as far as I'm concerned. We're still actually mostly long. We're long the IBB, the biotechs, we're long United Technologies. We have long positions, but I'm going to be adding to the short side. We're still short a position in the semiconductors. And you can see, look how the semis are struggling.
Yeah.
What are you looking at today?
Well, I know we have Google earnings after the bell.
Correct.
So, you know, quite a week in terms of you got Google earnings, and then we have Facebook earnings on Wednesday, and then I believe we have Amazon earnings on Thursday. Facebook, Amazon, Google, all in 1 week should be an exciting. I mean, those companies alone. I was reading an article last week, Basil, $2.3 trillion just in those three companies that they represent for market cap in terms of the economy. And, you know, with the NASDAQ near all-time highs, right? It's like they have a lot of...
Well, look at Amazon. You see, Amazon is pulling back from a peak D. Remember, I keep talking about these Ds. Went to a D in the daily. It had a round number 1641. Or was that 18? Sorry, 1841. The day after its all-time high at 1858.88. It's pulling back. Has done the D. Google, you mentioned this afternoon.
Yes.
Google's at a peak C. If it has good news today, at the end of the day, when it comes out. I think it's very soon after the closing bell.
I believe it is. It might be right at 4 o'clock or 4:05. I'm not sure, but I believe it is.
1204.50 was the high. If it goes above that by 1 penny, it starts at leg D, and that's D in the daily, D in the weekly. I'm looking to see, does that start to signal that we're getting kind of toppy in even the leadership positions? You mentioned Facebook. Fascinating. Look, Facebook peak C. If it doesn't make a new high today, it just has to go above 211.50 by 1 penny to make that leg D. This is very interesting because this is leadership, and you're talking about the amount of money that just these few stocks are beholden to in terms of the market. They're going to be very important to watch this week.
We'll start finding out right after the closing bell today as we get those Google earnings. Come on back, folks. Basil and I will be right back in 3 minutes. When we come back, we're going to have Jason Paff from thedutchbook.com. We're going to be talking Bitcoin. We're going to be talking Google. We'll be right back.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender. Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Tommy O'Brien with Basil Chapman. Got a little bit ahead of myself last segment. We have Jason Paff coming up at 10:40. We got one more segment, then we'll bring him on. So jumping back to the markets, a little bit of negative action. We got the Dow negative 60 points now, trading just under 25,000, 24,998. S&P is negative by about 6 points, trading 27.95, and the Nasdaq negative by 23, or about 0.3%. Yeah, so it should be interesting, Basil, if all of those tech stocks are forming maybe some peak C's, some peak D's, and they all come in with the same week of earnings. It'd be interesting to see if they get some negative action, if they all, as you say, market leaders for sure. How they trade is going to matter. It's interesting, Amazon making its highs on, of all days, Prime Day. I know you like kind of tying in the real life fundamental aspects of things and skyscraper side, and in terms of peaking out for even a short-term pullback, it would make sense, right, on a day that they surpass almost any other day that they've done. We've seen that before in Amazon's history, whether it's Black Friday type sales where they really release.
Have they said how successful it was?
They haven't gotten into.
I've got a feeling it wasn't quite as successful as previous years. I'm just guessing.
So what they get to do is they get to cherry pick whatever stats they would basically like, right, in terms of it, and they don't add the context that's always necessary, but then they classify things as in biggest shopping day ever. But, what does that mean, right? When do you start and stop the 24 hours? Or, you can play some games. But either way, they put out press release saying it was the biggest ever. And then what I found amusing is you had Target coming out saying that they had their biggest online shopping day of this year so far. But quite a discrepancy in how you context those, because there's no big shopping days so far on the online calendar. As in, we're in July, the Christmas was gone. That should be one of their biggest days, but nonetheless. And how is Target trading today? Target not doing bad. I mean, they did have some rough patches, but Target up barely today.
So I just wanted to show you this in Bitcoin. The low that was made back in around about June 23rd, from there it's gone peak A, peak B, peak C, D, and E in the, this is the Bitcoin itself.
Okay, we're looking at it.
Down,
and you're looking at a daily, you're looking at a daily chart there. Go ahead, yes.
And then it ran to a peak A, peak B, and now it's in leg C. So the soonest it could make its D would be, let's just say tomorrow's a down day with no new high. That'll be peak C, and then even 1 penny above the previous high, or one tick, and that goes to a leg D. So Wednesday would be the earliest it could get to D. So it's still very positive there.
Nice.
But what's really, really interesting is, I'm always fascinated, you've got, let me get rid of this. You've got Amazon, and you've got a lot of the younger generation talking about being aware of consumers and all that, but in fact they're the most consumers. And in fact, you've got Federal Express or UPS giving deliveries where someone's ordered a pen or a little mouse,
Sure.
or, I mean, a pointer or something.
Yes.
So you've got a lot, and packages. When I think of I looked the other day, I'm looking at the packages. I've come back from the supermarket. Do I need all that plastic? I've got so used to it. I like it. But do you really, we're in a very consumer-driven market, and we want the world to be consumers because we want to raise the standard of living all around the world. So what we're really saying is buy, buy, buy. Everybody keep buying, because that's going to economically save many countries.
Cheer it on. Cheer it on, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
What will be interesting, too, you talk about just kind of the packaging of things and how they go into it. It's interesting to see how Amazon is trying to reshape exactly what you're talking about, though. We're so accustomed to everything being packaged to be sold in a Target or in an Office Depot when you're talking about pens, right? But yeah, everything is now turning to, it can be delivered to your home, and maybe that type of packaging. And same deal, you talk about things like washing detergent, for instance, right, where it's very packaged for the shelf in your local supermarket or Costco or what it be, whereas now they're going to begin to package those just for pure shipment from warehouses of Amazon, where you're basically shopping online and it's showing up without the need to be appealing, visually. So it'll be interesting to see how that world shapes up, because I can imagine Amazon is working hard at that. I think that would be a big factor in terms of changing the dynamic of products being designed to be on store shelves, which is really changing in terms of, and now it just needs to be.
Now they've gone for straws. Straws are going to be changing, so you'll have your little sippy cups or whatever it is.
Right, the world is changing very quickly, for sure.
I've got a chart here called Packaging Corporation of America, PKG, at 115.71 up a penny, but it made an all-time high at 131.13 around the week of the 26th of January. That's when the S&P and the Dow made its high, and it's actually struggling here. It still looks great in the monthly chart, even though it's starting to turn down. But this is there's your peak D again. This is the daily chart on the 12th of June. pulls back very sharply down from the 131 level to 110. That's a big percentage pullback, and that's packaging. So this is a fascinating period. Yeah, and the dichotomies all over. Maybe other packaging companies are doing better. Who knows? But this did fantastically up until January, and now it hasn't really. It's held, but it hasn't broken to new highs.
It'll be interesting to see, because if you just think of how Amazon ships currently, right? Everything is in boxes, and everything's in boxes that don't even fit basically the product you have. Sometimes, we all know it, you get the Amazon box, it's like enormous, right? And inside is like a tiny little product. But that's where I think you see the logistics of what they've done, and maybe that starts to factor in, where everything really just needs to be boxed, and then you combine those boxes in one big box that gets delivered at your home.
Something like that.
Something like
that. I don't know if they can keep going on like this, because that's a lot.
It is. I know, and a lot of spare space, as in those shipping.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. So beyond that, let's just check back in terms of gold still hanging at 12.25 and crude oil. And look at that slide on crude there, Basil. I mean, we were up just as we came on to the show, 10 a.m. bar, 69.29. We're now a good 69. We're 75, 80 cents off of where we were. Quite a slide, pulling back. And
oh my! The 10-minute just hit a 200-period exponential moving average support. Ooh,
okay.
That's a big move. This is peak A, B.
Look at that
C,
chart.
D,
Nice.
Yeah, look at that. So, that's the other thing. Was that move up to the 74s? Was that really politically motivated? What I mean by that is, was it really a manipulation by other countries to be able to buoy the price of crude? But in fact, we have a plethora of oil. We're going to find out. I think this summer is going to be very interesting, because it would seem to me that there's a lot of oil being produced. But at the same time, if world economies are actually doing pretty well, the usage of crude oil may be as commensurate with the amount that's being produced. We'll find out soon enough.
One of the most interesting things about that spike to 74 that we saw in oil was that was right, I believe, a week and a half ago on the EIA number on Wednesday, and we got a draw of 12+ million barrels, which was a surprise to the downside. You saw oil spike to its high of just over 74, and then in the span, Basil, of I think it was 4 hours, oil proceeded to trade right $4 to the negative down to $70. So for that to occur on that type of news was pretty remarkable on the turnaround in terms of a $4 turnaround with that type of draw. Okay, folks, come on back. It is 10:40. We're going to get our man Jason Paff on the line. We'll come back with him. He wants to talk some crude oil. He wants to talk some Google earnings. He wants to talk some Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies. Right now, we got the market Dow down 59 points. S&P's currently negative by 3. We'll be right back.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, everybody. We got the Dow down 47 points currently. S&P is negative by 2, NASDAQ negative by 6. And as we do every Monday at 10:40, we're going to go over to our man Jason Paff from the DutchBook.com. Jason, good morning.
Tommy, how are you? Good morning.
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing great, man. Beautiful day. Markets are moving.
The markets are moving for sure. So yeah, I know you put out your great newsletter on Monday mornings. I got the newsletter. I got a great slide deck up here. And folks, if you want to get Jason's newsletter, you can head right over to the DutchBook.com. Free newsletter you can sign up for, and we're going to talk about some of it right now. So where do you want to start, Jason? You want to talk about some Bitcoin action?
Yeah, a lot of action in Bitcoin. We've continued to be fairly bullish on Bitcoin, and we're up over 30% on Bitcoin since the end of June. Okay, so clearly, this market continues to move higher. It's absolutely a momentum and trend-based market. It'll continue to move higher till it doesn't. But this looks like another very strong week. Our forecast is to get close to 8,000. We're at about 7,700 right now. Certainly there'll be some retracement at some point, but we've seen a lot of volume pile in over the last week. Wallet usage, users on the networks numbers are up, and it certainly looks constructive for the next 5 days in our view.
Things were getting a little dicey there when we were at 5,800, right? 5,900. I mean, we're a far cry from those levels, really, when you had $2,000 almost onto that price level, like you were saying, 30%, and just really the fact that we've seemed to bounce off that 5,800 a couple times, right? Critical level. And I saw on one of these charts you have, no meaningful support until 3,000. So man, if that was getting a little dicey, but we're kind of off to the races, maybe to the upside for right now.
Yeah, absolutely. 5850 is definitely the near-death experience, as we called it. We got there the night of the 28th into June 29th. But this is a resilient market. We saw the bids come in at that level, and we've continued to see spikes in volume that has allowed these step moves up. It's been a series of moves, and we continue to see that play out. And again, we continue to expect that this week.
So what do you want to jump to next? I know we have Google. You got some action here. We have natural gas, crude oil, natural gas. Maybe where do you want to jump to?
Yeah, gas is down. We had a little bit of a bullish pop, when the EIA numbers came out. We actually had the under on consensus last week too. We envisioned a scenario where we were grinding lower most of the week. A little bit of relief if you're bullish on gas, but it wasn't enough.
Short-lived, yeah.
This is a market that continues to work lower. We're off 3.5 cents this morning. We think 270 is in play really soon here in the next trading session or two. That's another market. There's not a ton of support below 270. If we break 270 in gas, we think we will. we continue to see production rage. Folks are making money at this level, and supply continues to go up. We'll have some noise week to week, but the weather's pretty cool for this time of year. Where I am, the Midwest, will have a pretty comfortable weather pattern over the next 2 weeks. It's very hot out west, but the weather's mixed because it's cool in other parts of the country. There's really no narrative right now for support for gas. We're at a very dangerous level, and we fall off 270, we're down into the 260s and 250s pretty quick.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for us is this is a market that not that long ago was staring right at 3. We got up to 305 last month, but I just don't envision a scenario where we're at 3 the rest of the year. Futures markets, there's not a contract on the board at $3 or above, which is pretty significant. So we just, whether or not we continue to grind sideways at 270 or continue to drop, most importantly for us is we just see no narrative for support from here for this market to move towards $3 anytime soon.
That's a dicey looking chart, man. We got it up in terms of the long-term resistance. We're under the 50 and the 200-day moving average, and then you have those price levels at 270, 250, and man, just quite a chart in general in terms of that slide all the way from 350 down to 260, and then it almost seems like a small crawl up in terms of creeping back up to that $3 level, but then man, running into some resistance and quite a downtrend we're in right now.
Yeah. So what folks, for contextual purposes on that move up we had to 305 may not realize is we have a bit of a storage deficit now. It's really due to April. We were 20% over typical consumption levels in April because it was still snowing and people still needed heat. It took a 20% delta over prior year in consumption to get us to 305.
Okay.
This summer is trending in line to slightly cooler than normal. Consumption is sideways at best. So if it takes 20% to get us to 305, what does normal look like? We think, fair value at normal consumption, and as supply levels get back to normal, that's it's a 260, 255 type play.
Nice. And that's good to hear because, man, it is hot in Florida right now. So if it's cool somewhere else, that's good information.
Yeah.
And how about Google? Let's talk about Google because we got Google after the bell today. And we can get back to oil if we have time. But I wanted to jump to Google because, of course, Alphabet earnings, you got some good information here in terms of the earnings versus the analyst estimate and just kind of surprise history. So what are you looking at for Google tonight?
Yeah, we like $6.8 billion in revenue for the quarter. It was a good quarter. We've seen, obviously, the world's racing to mobile. They own mobile search. We've actually seen internationally a little bit of support for desktop search. Those numbers have reversed a little bit, we anticipate. So that's incrementally positive. They don't report or break out YouTube individually, but video advertising we envision is up. So $6.8 billion in revenue, huge number. Clearly the fine announced last week by the EU, a little north of $5 billion will eat into earnings. We think they take that charge. I think they've telegraphed pretty clearly they'll take the charge this quarter, even though they continue to appeal. It's now trickling out. They were actually already discussing this and already had some mitigation plans in place with the EU. But it'll eat up 75% of the earnings from this quarter. We think the street basically writes that off to a one-time event. It's hard to envision anything the EU could do to dislocate or dislodge their performance, given they're already north of 90% of the search market in the EU. It's their second biggest market. So even if they're limited because they can't bundle anymore, folks really don't have an alternative for search.
Sure.
We think it's a well-run company. The world continues to race to mobile. They own it. We see 247 EPS post-fine. If you're modeling that before the fine, about 970. They're almost at the $10 mark on a quarterly EPS number. Another great quarter. We think this moves higher. It's already moving higher this morning. So, the easiest forecast here is for continued volatility. It's a big company, and there'll be lots of surprises under the headline. So it'll move back and forth. So some good volatility opportunities to trade it individually. We think over time it continues to move up.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting looking at just Google in general in terms of, they own YouTube, and YouTube, man, talk about owning a content producer. I mean, one of the best things that Google probably ever did, right? Picking up YouTube let alone their advertising. But man, I find myself just fundamentally more so watching shows. I have content, I have people, like yourself and myself. Our show's out on YouTube, but for a variety of things that I do in life this weekend, I watch an hour-and-a-half show, just people talking interviews about different facets of life, and YouTube, that's where the future is going. And we only have 30 seconds here, Jason. What are you looking at for oil this week?
Yeah, it's bobbing a little bit this morning. It's going to continue to work its way lower. We're very bearish on oil. We've got a $55 call out for the end of the year. It's a bit of an outlier call, but supply is up. We're actually up about 4 million barrels over storage levels in March. The market's going to come to that day of reckoning pretty soon as oil continues to slide. We think it stays in the high 60s this week, 65 by Labor Day, 55 by the end of the year.
Jason, so much good information as always. TheDutchBook.com, folks. Check it out. Jason, thanks so much, man. Take care.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. We'll be right back, folks.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Learn how to trade options with swim lessons. Brought to you by TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim. Next on TFNN.
Welcome back, everybody. Tommy O'Brien, joined by Basil Chapman. We got markets in negative territory, pretty tame morning. And just to give one final plug for Jason, you can head on over to the front page of TFNN. You'll see Nadex Market News, and Jason does some great writing over there. If you click on that Market News, a couple articles he had over there. One, if you want to dig into natural gas, he wrote on Friday. He also had a Bitcoin article over there on Thursday. He does a lot of good writing over there. So Basil, what do we have cooking for the Tiger Technicians Hour coming up at noon? What are you going to look at for your viewers?
In relation to what I was looking at, that leg D in the Chapman Wave methodology, the stock that I've spoken about for forever is Cintas Corporation. Overalls, uniform rentals, because I always think that this gives me a tremendous picture on the general economy.
Yes.
And when things are slowing down, or if there's a potential recession coming. It had earnings that had a peak C in the daily chart at 196.27. CTAS is the symbol. And then it came out with earnings on Friday. Boom, leg D, a huge leg D, and it's following up today even more. So here it is trading on Thursday. Yeah, on Thursday at 192. It's trading now at 206.80. So that's a good sign. Leg D in the weekly chart and leg E in the monthly chart. And the other one was Microsoft, exactly the same thing. Made a peak D last week, and I was waiting a peak C, and boom, it comes out on Friday, big leg D to the upside, and it's holding quite well at 108.20. So these are going to be clue stocks together with Amazon, Google, Facebook, etc. this week to say, okay, are we running out of a bit of steam here? Do we have to have some kind of digestion? And that's what I'll be talking about on my show.
Sounds great. That Cintas is quite a company, man. Tom and I were looking at it last week. I think Tom had heard you talking about it. And yeah, $22 billion company, but it's rocking and rolling as with the economy for sure.
It's almost like a waste management except of overalls.
Yes. Basil, thank you so much. We look forward to the show at noon.
Thank you very much, Tommy.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned. Swim lessons, fast market coming up right now. Take care.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.